Hey, it's Julia, the brains and the bad handwriting behind the self-help planner. So I wanted to hop on real quick so I can tell you guys something that's pretty important. When I say I have hundreds of people reach out to me every single week to ask me things like, how do you stay motivated? How do you stay so consistent with your routines? How do you accomplish so many of your goals? How do you trust yourself? How do you set big goals for yourself? How do you stick with a routine when you don't feel like it? And let me tell you, I've got tools and resources that help with every single one of these things. But when I really think about one thing that you could do that's going to help as a domino effect with all of these things, the one thing that really comes to mind for me is morning routines. Now, the reason I say this is because when you have a morning routine that you can really stick with, and I don't mean do every single day, that's why consistent and everyday are two different words. But I mean, you have a morning routine that you can really stick with. A couple of things are going to happen. A, you're going to learn to really trust yourself. When you trust yourself, you're able to set bigger goals, you're able to stick with those goals, and you're able to create momentum in your life. Number two, speaking of momentum, your morning is how you start your day. Now, regardless of you start your morning at 5 a.m. or if you start it at 10 a.m., it is still how you start your day. When you start your day right, and when you start your day feeling good about yourself, that carries over through the rest of your day. Instead of trying to pick that momentum up throughout the middle of the day, you're starting out with that momentum and it carries through. Now, I know morning routines can be really hard to stick with, and that's because there's a lot of advice out there and a lot of it contradicts itself. So it's really confusing. And I'm here to tell you that really there's only one thing that you need to do to really make your morning routine stick so you can get all of these benefits. And this is going to be applicable, this framework that I'm showing you, it works with all of your routines. It also is a great way to incorporate with your goals. I'm really big on don't just have a goal, have a habit or a routine that goes with it. That's how you accomplish your goals. But more on that later. So the one thing that you need to focus on for your morning routines is what I call a baseline habit. This is going to be a habit that is so simple that you can accomplish it every single day. Now, again, I told you, consistent doesn't mean every day. So why am I saying do something every single day? Because you want to create a foundation for yourself. This is going to become really key. And I want this to be so very, very simple that you really can do it every day. And honestly, you've got habits that you're doing every day anyway, like checking your phone or drinking some water, which is the example we'll use. A great baseline habit to start in the morning is drinking water. Now, a couple of things to make this stick. A, set yourself up for success. Do it the night before. So take your water or your mug or whatever, fill it up and set it on your nightstand so it's ready to go. First thing in the morning, you don't even have to physically get out of bed. You can drink your water. The next thing is if you write a to-do list or if you have a planner, which I think you definitely should be using, of course, make sure you write it in there. Write as a to-do list item, drink water. The thing that's going to happen when you actually do it and you cross it off, you're going to get that dopamine from that completion of the task. Our brains love finishing things. So even though it's small and you might already be doing it, giving yourself credit is going to make your brain realize this is a task and I feel good for doing it and I feel good for completing it, which means you'll want to do it again. And that's where that habit builds in. Now, once you have your baseline habit, you can use a technique that you may have heard of before called habit stacking. What I like to do is write out my ideal routine, what I ideally want to do in the morning. Then I write out what I'm actually doing in the morning. Now, it doesn't matter how different these things are. Your ideal routine could be like one of those wake up at 5 a.m. and then do yoga and meditate and read and journal and make myself breakfast and then do my skincare. And it's like crazy, but it's your ideal routine and it's totally up to you. Now, one thing that I would like to note on this is you need to make sure that you're a morning person if you're going to have a really crazy morning routine, or in the very least that you have time to do this morning routine. So the easiest way to do this is A, take that quiz that I sent you earlier. to know if you are a morning or an evening person. Really easy. And this is your internal circadian rhythm. It is not going to change. You also, you want to make sure that you're working with it and not against it. Also, if you have a really crazy busy morning, maybe we just let go of the idea that it's got to have 15 steps for our morning routine to be ideal. If that's not going to happen, it's just not going to happen. And there's no reason for you to feel bad about it. Now, with those two things in mind, write out your ideal routine and then write out what your morning routine looks like right now. Again, you want to be really intuitive. Are you waking up? Are you checking your phone? Are you taking the dogs out? Are you making yourself coffee? Are you getting things ready for your kids? All of these little things are probably habits that you don't even realize you're doing. Now that you have a list of habits you're already doing, you can actually take one of those and make that your baseline habit. So you don't even have to change anything in your routine right now. It's just about acknowledging that you already have a habit built. Now, once you've started that acknowledgement process and you really feel like that habit is solidified, you can add a new habit or habit stack, a new habit from your ideal routine on top of it. As you start to habit stack more routines, you'll start to notice a pattern. Things become more difficult. You'll need to make adjustments. And at some point, you may fall off. If you fall off track on your routines, that's totally fine. Life happens. And this framework is so great because it gives you something to come back to. You now know what your baseline habit is. The first thing that you need to start back up with is your baseline habit if you're not already doing it. Then you can look at the habits that you've added and you can do one of two things. You can start back from zero and quickly add back because your brain and your body are used to these routines at this point for the most part. Or you can look at what habits you were using and kind of go backwards. So maybe you were getting up in the morning, you were drinking water, you were journaling, and you were reading, and you were taking a walk. But you were really struggling with the walk, and now your whole routine has fell off. Remove that habit from the routine. It may not work, or adjust your routine as accordingly. So maybe you don't take as long of a walk. Maybe you just get outside for 5 minutes and you drink your coffee outside instead. So this is how you're going to create this routine, this morning routine. When this happens and you have that consistency, you're going to feel motivated because you're going to realize, oh my gosh, I can stick with the things. You're going to trust yourself. You're going to start setting bigger goals. It's an incredible ripple effect, and it's such a small thing, and it really, truly improves your overall day too. And it sounds crazy, but truly those days equal your life. So the more good days you can start and have, the better your life will be. So I know we covered a lot, so I just want to recap real quick. Number one, you are not the problem with your routines. There's a lot of advice out there, and it can be really confusing to navigate through all of what is being said and what advice is good for you. So you're not broken, you're not lazy, there is nothing wrong with you. All right. Number two, what is the one thing that you need to have all of these benefits: motivation, self-discipline, self-trust? One thing: morning routines. And the one way that you build out your morning routines is with baseline habits, right? What is one habit that you're already doing or that you can add to your routine that's so simple, like drinking water, that you can do it every day? And then you can look at habit stacking on top of it. That's the last thing we covered in this, is how to habit stack and how to work those habit stacks in when you start to fall off track. Because listen, y'all, you don't have to hit it every single day. That is crazy. If I was giving you that advice, it would be bad advice, okay? We are here to give good advice. And at the end of the day, you're going to go on vacation, you're going to get sick, you're going to move, your kids are going to get sick, and your routines are going to get disrupted. So it's not about trying to find something that can fight life. It's about finding something that will be life resilient. And this framework and this structure is. All right, so let me know what you think of this routine framework. Try it out. I'm so serious. Try it out today. Write out your ideal morning routine and then write out what your current morning routine is. I'm so serious. And then look at those habits, what your baseline habit is, and then look at what habit you want to habit stack next. Really important. Start with one habit to habit stack. Don't try and be all like sexy and create this incredible routine that you could brag about on social media. That's not what we're doing here, y'all. We need this to work for you. We need you to trust yourself. We need you to feel motivated, and we need you to go for the goals that you are here to accomplish because you're an amazing person. And I guarantee it, I would bet my next paycheck that you are here to do something amazing, and having a good morning routine will be the foundation to help that start. So I'm so excited. Let me know how it goes. And I'm really excited to hear how this works for y'all. It's gonna, I mean, listen, I know I'm like a social media person and I get like hooks and everything, but this is really gonna change your life, y'all. I'm so serious. I wish I had this information like 5 years ago. So try it out. Let me know how it goes. And I will talk with y'all soon. Bye.